All right, so we're moving on to um, day three, actually. We kind of flipped things around. So this is day three. We're going to talk about compound inequalities, and I'm going to give you guys two new vocabulary words that you've totally never heard before called and or. And this is really weird because you guys are thinking to yourself, I've heard those words before. You have, but in math they mean something different. So and means it has to satisfy both of them. Okay, so and is the overlap. Okay, so I'm using this Venn diagram. Remember these? This is the overlap. And only the overlap. If there's no overlap, there's no answer. Okay? Or means that it could be this one, could be this one, or it could be this one. It could be any of them. Okay? So there doesn't have to be overlap for or to happen. All right, so those are kind of two new words for us, even though we've heard them before. We need to think about what they mean. Another word for and is the intersection. Okay, so maybe those words will help you remember. All right, so what does this look like? I have to satisfy both of these. So -5, 0, 3. So -5 greater than -5, so I'd be shading this way, right? And less than 3, and I'd be shading this way. So my final answer is just the overlap here of where they're happening. Okay, so I'm looking for the overlap. Doesn't look like a V. Overlap. Okay, but what about the other way? So I want greater than 3, so I'd shade this way. Less than -5, I'd shade this way. Is there an overlap on this one? There isn't. So this one is no solution. We've talked about that, right? And we've talked about the idea of it being false back in one of our units. And so is there a number that is both less than -5 and greater than +3? False. There isn't. So there's no solution for this one. There's no overlap when I shade, so I can't count it. Okay, so what does or look like? So I've got my same number lines. Oops. And I want x greater than -5, so I'd shade everything this way. And x less than 3, and I'd shade everything this way. Okay. But because I don't need an overlap, I can just shade them both forever and ever. This one's all real numbers. I think we've talked about that symbol before. But I can think of lots of numbers that are either less than -5 or, greater than -5 or less than 3. Or I can think of some that are both, like 0 is both greater than -5 and less than +3. And what if I do it this way? So with and, we had trouble with this one because we shaded in both directions. And because it's or, I can keep this one. This is my answer here. Okay, my answer is that it's these pieces because, for example, -6 is less than -5, right? And for another example, 5 is greater than 3. Remember, or means I just have to satisfy one of them. Okay, I don't have to satisfy them at the same time. Okay, so let's try one here. So this is an and, so this is only going to be the overlap. Okay, so just like we were practicing yesterday, I'm going to add 7 to both sides. 3x greater than or equal to, I think we have -6, divide by 3, divide by 3. Lots of people want to flip the sign here, but I'm not going to flip the sign because I'm dividing by a positive number. Okay, this is a positive number. Okay, so I do not have to flip the sign, so I'm left with x greater than or equal to -2. Okay, let's try this one. I'm going to subtract 3, 2x less than 12, divide by 2, x less than 6. So let's see what numbers I need to put on my number line. I'll just put a 0. Okay, in my light green, I would have a closed circle, and I would shade everything this way. right? Greater than. And then in my dark blue, I would have an open circle here. And then I would shade everything this way. But because I want and, I only care about the overlap. So what does my overlap look like? My overlap looks like just this chunk in here. So my answer with x in the middle, x is less than 6 because I have an open circle and it is greater than or equal to -2. Okay? That's how I would write this compound statement. It is an and. When I write an and statement, they always face open to the right. Open to the right, and the small number, x in the middle, then big number. Okay, always, always, always. So you should write that down. We mess this up a lot. All right, remember to pause if I'm going too fast. Okay, here's an or statement. So I'm going to do different colors again here. I'm going to subtract 4. So I have -2x greater than or equal to -14. Now I'm going to divide by a negative number. This is a negative number that is I'm dividing by. So I'm going to flip my sign and get x greater than or equal to 7. I'm going to solve the other one. Divide by 4, and I have x greater than 5. All right, so let's put this on a number line. I'll use a different color here. 7, 8, I need 5 on my number line. 5, 6, 7, that should be good. For my green one, I would make a closed circle at 7, and then I would shade this way. And, oops, I used red. For my red one, I'd have an open circle at 5, and then I would shade this way. Okay, but or means I can have both of them. I can have either one. So technically, I can have all of them. I could shade this whole line. So my answer for this one is all real numbers. I can shade this one forever this way, this one forever this way. I don't care about when they overlap because it's an or statement. All right, so when you see them looking like this is an and statement, and we practiced solving these on yesterday's homework. So we wrote them out twice. Okay, drew a line. I'm dividing by a negative number. That means I'm going to flip. So I want 2 greater. And I'm going to rewrite this so x is on the other side, x greater than 2. All right, I'm going to do this again. -2x minus 1 is less than 7. I'm just copying it down. 2x is less than 8. I'm dividing by a negative number, so I'm going to flip my sign. So x greater than -4. Okay, this is an and statement, so both things have to be true at the same time. So -4 is here. I'd make an open circle, and I would shade this way. For my green one, +2 is here. I would make an open circle, except for that's blue, and I would shade this way. And because this is an and statement, I only want the overlap. So my answer is that x is between 2 and -4. Remember, they open to the right, the small number on this side, and the big number on this side when I write an and statement. Make sure you are pausing and taking good notes. For an or statement, okay, I'm going to draw my line. 5x, add 1, greater than 0. If I divide by 5, I get x greater than 0. Draw my line. 2x less than or equal to -4. Divide by 2. I'm dividing by a positive number, so I don't have to flip my sign. So when I put stuff on this number line, -2, 0, and my pink one, I'd have an open circle, and I would choose this. And my purple one, I have a closed circle and I choose this. Now because this is an or, I don't need an overlap, but ors need a comma between them. So my answer when I write this out is x less than -2 and x, not and, but x greater than 0. This is my answer, okay? You cannot write like you can't do this thing, okay? With an or, you cannot write them like that. So don't try to make one out of these. Okay, I have one more example for you. Okay, oh, and it's the exact same problem. So I know what this is, but now it's an and. So what did I have on this one? X greater than 0 and x less than or equal to -2. And because it's an and, I want the overlap. And we can see from our last one, -2, -1, 0, that because I colored this way and because I colored this way, there is no overlap. And if you get no overlap, there is no solution. Spell that right, Mrs. Vogt. Okay, so when it's an and there is no overlap, there is no solution. Your homework is on Schoology.